Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hedging Lee with a morning update for Bitcoin. So here, price has pierced the long time support line. If we look at it from an MACD perspective, these green lines I drew back on the 29th or the 30th, a couple of days ago, and it had been posted. And what we may be looking at is the early scenarios, early stage of a Wick being formed. And that is already happening, seems like, in 5 waves down. Maybe final 5 waves down. I had also said and drawn a similar line on the MACD because a close-up shows that it had not touched the lower yellow line support. And that would probably be likely, and the MACD will rise back up. Price is doing the same thing, and we could be seeing a temporary piercing where once all of the weak hands, the panic sellers, are released and divested, price will bob right back up to the surface, just like a balloon. If you try to submerge a balloon and then you let go of it, it comes right back up. All of this is based on the criteria that there is no decisive break of this support, that there is no decisive break of this MACD lower yellow line support, that they both must hold. And I've written this several times. That the support must hold against any decisive breach. So yes, people are panicking. They now see that the support has been broken. They are panic selling. Yes, absolutely. And it could remain below the support line for a couple of days. I'm using a 4-hour chart. So it could remain for a few days. It is slow moving. And the MACD could dip, touch the yellow line, and start rising again. And what will that achieve? If this does happen, and if the support does hold, price being here will be much closer, more in proximity to the apex. And that's usually a good sign to have a breakout closer to the apex. Means you have a bigger and a more sustainable breakout. Same thing here. If the MACD comes to this stage, you get a much closer proximity to the apex. So let's see how the price moves and see if this becomes a decisive breach of the support or a temporary. When it's temporary, usually you see a big dip in a wick. And we may see a very scary looking dip going all the way down to maybe even 6,000. And then price goes right back up and you get nothing but a wick left, like a needle. Any number of possibilities can be possible. And the longer term, will it be the white W correction, or will it be the blue W correction, which will take us to the 4,900 to 5,000 region, and that will be sitting on the second long-term support that goes all the way back a few years. But they both will be a W, whether in the white or in the blue. And I've explained how this W cycle type of correction comes about by measuring the trough to trough on the cycle. But I find this extremely intriguing on the MACD side. How the MACD is moving within, well within the boundaries of a contracting symmetrical triangle. This tells me that the sellers are running out of steam. They had a lot of MACD power, a little bit less, much less. The fact that the yellow lines are contracting means that the volatility mobility of the MACD is very limited, unless either the resistance breaks up or the support breaks down. That is why I say that the support on the price, this first yellow line, must hold against any decisive breach. Temporary breaching could be quite attractive, as I just explained, as a bull wick. Same thing here, a temporary break of this lower line, just like right here, you can see a little bit right here also. Temporary break, and if it comes right back up, could be very bullish. But you must remain open to the fact of the blue brook pathway and be fully aware of that. If it does happen, what would I be doing? Would I be panic selling into this? Not necessarily. No. Why? I have kegs of dry powder cash. And what I would be doing is I would be getting ready to be casting my delicious buy ladder entries around here. I don't buy anything all at once. Never. That is called a buyer's remorse trap. I divide my buys using local support and resistance zones, and that's covered in my tutorial found at the end of each of my blog posts. I would be a buyer here, an aggressive buyer in this level. But I'm not yet convinced that the blue is even near to being the primary count. I believe the white still remains, and the contracting symmetrical triangle pattern of this MACD is highly attractive. And I drew these boxes to show that the sellers are running out of steam. Yes, they are bringing it lower, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have a lot more sellers. Yes, it can go to here, 4,000, and this will probably break down. Okay. But given how well the contracting lines have been obeyed since freaking December, it has been obeying, dared not get outside of the contracting lines. Tells me that most likely while we may get a temporary pierce in the MACD and the price, it'll come right back up, travel one more down. That this travel one more down is interesting. And I showed this last night. So go back up and travel one more down. And that travel one more down could make another tiny wedge looking pattern too. And look now how close price will be to the apex. Look how close now. If that does happen, the MACD will be to the apex. It'll be prime locale and timing for breakout. I'm not necessarily, well, yes, on a longer term scale, I am a perma bull on Bitcoin. That's why I have a 70% hodl portfolio that I just rarely ever touch. Just leave it alone. Let it hodl through every correction. And then I have a 30% trading portfolio, which will take advantage of the buying opportunities here, here. I took some nibbles here, and even here too. Yeah, these nibbles are at a loss, but I have a buy point here, here, here. If it goes lower to 4,000, I'll have another one. My average buy point will probably be at around 8,000-ish or so. And that is what I mean by laddering my ladders. If I had bought everything all at once here, I'd have no cash to take any additional advantages of buying the dips. But this one more rise and one more dip may result in a fourth wedge fractal. All right, that's it for this morning. I hope this has been helpful. A lot more to come. Have a wonderful day. And to everybody, happy Easter.